Oh, and we're live. Aloha, everyone. Welcome to the Caring Caregiver Show. I'm Savvy, the founder of Give Me a Break, a nonprofit organization that's caring for caregivers, and we're here to bring back the joy of caregiving. So each week, we're here to help you survive. And I know I talk about this all the time, but we are survivors. Caregivers, you're at high risk. You're 50% of all caregivers will pass before the one they're caring for. And if any of you are over the age of 70, beware, because 70% of you will pass before the one you're caring for. These are not happy statistics. We are caregivers. We're giving of ourselves so much, and we want to survive this journey. It is just a stop in our journey in life. And we want to continue on to be able to accomplish so many wonderful things. We have a dream. We have a journey. We have an expectation of what we want out of life. So we want to survive so that we can go on to continue pursuing that. Do the things that we love, right? Maybe what we're trying to do is, I don't know, climb the Grand Canyon, parachute off of El Capitan. I don't know, whatever it is. If you're a thrill seeker, you'll never be able to do it if you don't survive this journey. So we're here to help you survive every week. And of course, you can do that with Give Me a Break, and just check out our website at, here we go again, folks, putting it up on screen. And you can go ahead to gab808.org and check out our website there. Also, if you text 808-754-3787, you got an emergency situation and need something, just give us a call or text us is really the fastest way. The phone does pass around from one volunteer to the other, but they will absolutely respond to you within as short a time as possible. And if you not such an emergency, but you just got a question, info@gab808.org is how to get a hold of us via snail mail, or which is now email is the new snail mail. But go ahead to gab808.org. Lots of information there and support, because I know you're tired and I know you're frustrated, and I know we're all caregivers, that you're just exhausted. So we're here for you. And we also do offer you a break every week at our support sessions. And our support sessions are online, free, so super affordable and very convenient. And you can, I don't like that. I always have to change it to this one. There we go. I'm going to figure that one out before the next show, I hope, or at least before the next season. But those are our support sessions, and you can get online anytime. So you don't have to go anywhere physically. You just go on Zoom, type in our phone number, which is 808-754-3787. That's the meeting ID. And it's open to the public. So we have them at 2:00 Hawaii Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. That's for our Houston chapter, and 8:00 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time as well. So you can always come in, and it's just a group of caregivers just like you. We're a community. We provide you with a safe space where you can just learn and grow and release and have a community of caregivers who get it. They're going through the same thing you are, and we're all here to help each other. Okay, so let's take that off. There we go. And the Caring Caregiver Show, by the way, as well, is sponsored by Givers Guides magazine, which is Givers Guides online magazine, because we know you can't carry a magazine around with you, so you can watch it on any device, your tablet, your phone, your laptop, your PC, anywhere, and you can take it with you. So once you have a subscription, you've got the link and you can watch it anytime. And it is a magazine that is written for caregivers by caregivers and from a caregiver's point of view. So we're not putting in there a, 1 hour a day workout. We might do a 1-minute workout, a 5-minute workout, right? A way to survive caregiving in moments. So check it out. You'll get a lot of great information in there. In fact, I'll pop that up as well. There's the cover for our current magazine in July, which is not just offering great caregiver stories and articles, but we're featuring the Shine a Light Walk, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But if you look, you'll see these are some of the articles that you can find in our magazine this month. Of course, we've got our regular articles that come every month with Mindful Moments with Melinda, for instance, who is our grief coach. And also we've got holistic health from our health professional. And there's a great article that Lonnie wrote called I Can See Clearly Now. Not quite what you're thinking it is, but great information about you and your eyesight and the importance of taking care of you. Caregiving, It Takes a Team is written by Raina Nisis, who is our newest author. And she wrote an incredible article in there and looking forward to her article for next month as well. So that's all coming up in the Giver's Guides. Just go to giversguides.com. Wrong one. I had the right one. And you can get your subscription and know that all profits go to Give Me a Break. So that helps us keep doing what we do for caregivers. All right. It is episode 5 of season 12. Oh, my correction. It is episode 6 of season 12. Wow, that's exciting. We're almost done through the season. And we've got a couple more shows that you can watch. But I told you this season was truly all about you caregivers. And it really, really is. You don't want to miss a single show. So let's get on with it. In fact, one of the most important things you can do for yourself is to take care of your mental wellness. And we have a mental wellness expert coming up. This is the owner / instructor of To Say I Am Transformation Company. I don't know. It's interesting, right? And I know some of you may know already who this is because you may have been part of our webinar series back in April and May when she talked about your mental wellness. And I want to welcome today Jamie Loken. Welcome, Jamie. I have to switch again. And there we go. There you are. Aloha. Welcome. I know I'm my own IT person. So I'm just, again, I put out a plea to anyone who would like to volunteer their services. If you're listening or watching, please contact us. We'd love to have you help with the IT part of this show. So, hi.
Hi, how are you doing today, Savvy?
I'm doing fantastic. And
you do a wonderful job. But that's part of it. It's very polished, and yet you're very personable, so it all works. So.
Oh, I love you. Thank you. Well, one of the things I ask all of our guests first, of course, is to share your caregiving story. So give us the Reader's Digest version of your caregiving story, Jamie.
Sure. I think that my caregiving story is that for so long, I did not think I was a caregiver. I really looked at it in a very traditional sense that I wasn't caring for an older family member, and I don't have children. And so those are the two very standard, stereotypical ideas that we have of caregivers. And growing up, I mean, I can't even claim that I really babysat much. I babysat for one family, and I was the kid that was on the phone with my mom saying, "There's aliens outside." Flew over. So I can't even pretend that in my youth somehow I had some type of even human to human necessarily caregiver experience. But caring for people, what is really the purposeful thread that has just tied every chapter of my life, from even as a young person when I was really interested in volunteering and creating career goals and really looking out at the world to see what my purpose was and what type of career. And I know that I'm very lucky in the capacity that maybe not having to take on a caregiver role as a young person, like a lot of folks do with family members, with their greater community, that, I had that opportunity to be able to say, what do I want my life to look like? And I very much wanted to serve others. And every aspect of my career has really moved from storytelling and trying to help folks, whether it's in front of the camera or behind the camera in entertainment, trying to help people feel less alone, tell their stories, really shine lights in areas that aren't often seen. And I also then became a social impact copywriter, where I was copywriting and trying to elevate the narrative and messaging of, nonprofits, of folks really doing amazing behind the scenes work, whether it's with businesses or in the nonprofit sector, or in the wellness and alternative wellness sector. I then moved into employee wellness. So I was in-house. All of that kind of went from a really broad way to serve to kind of a smaller to a little bit smaller. And now I'm at a space. I had been working in employee wellness and in-house organization. And that was really eye-opening to be able to interact with, you know, in upwards of 1,000 folks when you're really, I was an employee wellness coordinator, and really thinking about not only what is impacting their work environment, but their entire lives. I really take a holistic perspective, every aspect of our life. Like we had spoken about a month or two ago about the wellness wheel. So Savvy, you do an amazing job of taking in the whole person. That really trying to take a look and serve folks in every aspect.
In every aspect. Well, and you know, I talk about this all the time. I tell people that you're a caregiver if you're caring for anyone, right? Or it's people, pets, and plants, right? I always say people, pets, and plants, because you're keeping a life alive, then you're caring. And a lot of times people don't think of someone like yourself or a boss or, you know, somebody in a position of training or teaching that they're a caregiver, but you are. And you're an integral part of their survival, especially now. I love that you're in the workplace, because I always say that when I was working, I needed someone like you. You know, I didn't have anyone looking out for my wellness, you know, and employee retention, it's so important because people get sick and drop out or have to caregive, and no one's ever really asked, are you okay? Do you need anything? And so I think that's super important. And I think if you're the one asking people, are you okay? That already puts you in a caregiver seat, right? So tell us a little bit about what it is you do with your transformation company, and how do you transform? I love this now, and I really want to share this with caregivers. So how does this apply to, say, a caregiver?
Absolutely. Evolution. When I think about transformation, putting that behind there, I just thought, oh, transformation. Then I'm like, oh my goodness. I think, wow, now it's become like a buzzword. So Barbie is going to like, that's, you know, put that
right. It's going to be a movie, and we're all going to be
just,
like, you know, Marvel, and
it's definitely. We look at change so much when I talk about transformation. It's so much like, it's all about mindset, or it's moral, or we tell ourselves over and over, or we're ultimately told, hey, this is just who you are. This is just the way it is. And so many of us, when we are overwhelmed, which most people are, when you talk about being in a workplace, and whether you're in the workplace or the community, or the more that we are accessible, especially with smartphones, having a lot of technological access, it's as if we're accessible 24/7.
And the more of us say, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm okay, but we're really not.
Yeah, and it's overwhelming, and it's hard for people to say that they're overwhelmed, because it's so much of it is looked at as if it's bad or selfish. And so especially when I looked at transformation, I wanted to create a change framework. And so I've been working on that for quite a bit, because it is something when I'm 14 years sober. And so when I used substance almost as if I was self-medicating. And I think that is very common. And the more stressful our lives get, it's acceptable until it's not. Like, we want to meet everyone for a drink, or in some industries, you know, something else, in some way, to keep going, to be able to like fragment everything, to kind of turn off our feelings, especially when we're in a caregiver situation, when people are going through hardship, when we're seeing a lot of harm, not just with the people that are close to us, but in our communities, in the world beyond. We're perpetually exposed to it. And so whether it's substance use, or folks want to make a change in like their sleep habits or their relationships, oftentimes it's hard to make that change, and we blame ourselves. And so that transformation part was me taking a look at that. But I also have, I teach adult mental health first aid. And so that can be so transformative. And so I see those things where it's like, I want to tell people, care for yourself, work in de-stressing as much as possible. And that's so hard. Our stress,
Right.
so much of it is biological. What's stressful for one person is going to be different for someone else. What might be stressful for you one day might be different the next. We're always evolving.
Right.
And
And I love that difference, that the distinction right there too, because we do a lot of self-care, right? Like sort of self-medicating. We do a lot of self-care, but this is first aid. This takes kind of self-care and wellness to a whole nother level, right? I love that you brought that out, because that's exactly what caregivers need to do. We don't just need to self-care, which is really important. Your wellness matters, but you can take them to the next level of actual first aid. And
yeah, and that's,
you know,
I think, Savvy, especially when we're dealing with when we're caregiving, and no matter what role that is, we are out here interacting with folks that every single day.
Yeah.
And everyone, I mean, especially since the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, the onset of that, we have seen stress skyrocket, and it's understandable. Oftentimes we want to avoid or ignore because that's what is acceptable, or we want to be strong. And so there's a lot of stigma with mental health.
right.
There's even a lot of stigma with self-care, especially when you're a caregiver. And it's like, oh, why are you taking time for yourself?
Yeah.
And I really look at, I focus a lot. I'm a big break pusher. So you need to take care of yourself. And when I look at adult mental health first aid, people are like, well, you're telling the caregivers to care for themselves, but then you're also trying to give them more tools to care for other people. But adult mental health first aid, I think it can be really stressful not to know how to care for other people's mental well-being and to support them before it gets to a crisis state. Or if you do see a crisis unfold, really knowing a framework to be able to support them. And that can decrease your own stress and change your environment. So it's one of those must.
It's like getting to the root of the problem, right? I love it. Yes, I love it. And it gets to sort of that root of the problem. Why keep treating that symptom when you can get to the root of the problem? And if the root of the problem in caregiving may be how to caregive and its basic levels and understanding mental health in that way, I think that's an amazing, amazing tool. And what you do, it is transforming. So yes, I love it.
And I absolutely think caring for yourself is the foundation of how we show up in the world, and that really impacts how we care for others. And so oftentimes when I do hear that narrative, or folks, it's understandable to feel like you don't have time. It's understandable to get overwhelmed. And sometimes that is even, thinking about the things that you can control, really understanding your own mind-body connection, and also just sometimes trying to figure out the time for yourself if you're capable, like you mentioned earlier, not a 1 hour, but maybe a 1 minute. And the things that I talk about sometimes can be like a 1 minute thing that you can do, or, a 5 hour thing, or change. And caring for ourselves and being well is a lifelong journey. It's not something that is like, set it and forget it. So.
Right. And it becomes a practice that makes us a better human, even beyond caregiving, so that we can not just be a better human we're not doing it for anybody else. It's becoming a better human for you, so that you can find gratitude and success and wonderful things in life as you move forward, right? So it's such a great thing. And I know one of the things that you were going to share with our before I get on with that, I want to make sure was there anything else you wanted to talk about that I don't?
Oh no, that's okay.
But I know me, it's a great lead in, right? Me and lead in. But I know that one of the things that you were offering, and I'm going to pop it up on the screen, were 5 of your favorite mind-body distress practices. And so just, I know we're not going to talk all about those because they can go to the site that's on the screen right now. And for those of you listening in podcast later, it's CIM.com, which is Jamie's website, /MB, B as in Baker, GAB as in give me a break. Give me a break. Right?
So mind, body, give me a break.
GAB, right. Mind, body, give me a break. So MB, GAB. I love it. It's perfect. I deciphered the code. And so But let's just talk a little bit about that, because it's true. You can't do, maybe you don't have an hour, but you might have a minute every hour, right? So talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. I offered this. This is something so much of us, we do talk about, what's stress, what's de-stressing. We talk a lot about, well, just go de-stress. And it might just, oftentimes.
What's that?
Exactly. Like I said, transformation has become a buzzword. Self-care is just about, a bubble bath and, a glass of wine or something. Right. And if that is what distresses you, that is awesome. Oftentimes it goes more than that. We don't necessarily know what may stress us out, or we might avoid it, or it's embarrassing because it's like, oh, I shouldn't get stressed. And so in this download that I have, it explains, it is the most basic, talk about what a physical stress response is. And then it talks a little bit about our mind-body connection, because what happens in our mind impacts our body. What happens in our body impacts our mind. We're a whole being. And so when you dig a little bit into that mind-body connection, I've found that you're so much more equipped to be able to recognize when you're feeling stress. And also there are 5 of my favorite exercises that you can do today. You could do all of them today if you wanted to. But one is, kind of recognizing how your physical body feels when you are feeling stress. One is just something that's very simple with orienting in your space. I won't give them all away. Some of them are there, so you'll have to go and download.
Let them go. Let them do the download. They have to do the download.
Go download that.
Do the download, you guys. You got time to do the download. And I'm going to actually be dropping that the link in the chat as well, in the comments as well, so you guys will be able to see it. But I want to move on because there's one more that you're offering, which is really awesome. And that is using GAB50, you take $50 off an adult mental health first aid training. And that's that first aid training you were talking about, which I think is amazing. And it's good till the end of the year, but don't wait, you guys. Do the download, and you'll be able to go on to the website as well, to jamie@2sayim.com, and use that promo code, that coupon code, which is GAB50. And I just think that's a wonderful thing as well. But just briefly highlight your first aid training.
Yeah, absolutely. So adult mental health first aid, it's a certification training. And so it goes through a 5-aspect framework. And so it's all online. I offer everything virtual for folks that are in the United States. You might have adult mental health first aid if you're from a different country, and they may have one for your specific country. So I really only teach, they adjust and augment and incorporate cultural considerations and resources in accordance to the countries. And so it teaches a 5-step framework of how to recognize and respond to mental health challenges and substance use. And it gives signs and symptoms. You explore some common signs and symptoms. And also you get the opportunity to discuss, observe, and even put those action steps into practice. And so it is, if you take the 2-day training, it's 4 hours each day, and there's a 2-hour on-demand pre-work. If you take a full day training, it's a 7-hour training, and then also still that 2-hour pre-work. I really try to incorporate a lot of breaks. People are like, oh, it's so long. And some folks that take the training are like, wow, this wasn't long enough.
So fast, right?
Yeah, it wasn't long enough. I need more. And some folks are like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of information. I've been an ergonomic assessor. So I also think it's really important to get up, walk away from the screen about every hour. So when you take a training with me online, I really try and incorporate breaks throughout. And so that's where mine might kind of look a little bit longer, because I really am attentive to making sure people can get up and take some time. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I love that you do that. And so everybody really, I just put in the comments, if you're watching us live, in the comments, there are all the information and the links for both the 5 favorite mind and body distress practices and to be able to get the coupon for that $50 off the adult mental health first aid training. I love that you do that. I absolutely adore you, and I appreciate so much that you came on today to share that. Again, caregivers, what you don't know, you don't know. And if you need to learn more, you have Jamie. So thank you so much, Jamie, for
wish,
being
Savvy. I wish. I wish. But whatever I don't know, then you have Savvy. So
yeah, that's, you know what, we are a community of caregivers. We're here for you. And
Yes,
again, that's what this is all about, right? It's
yes.
about holding hands and supporting one another through it. So thank you so much, Jamie. I really appreciate it. And we'll have you on again to update us.
Thank you,
All right.
Savvy, and thank you everyone listening. Much appreciated.
Great. Aloha, Jamie. Wonderful. And so again, you guys, just it's time to transform. Caregivers, don't just settle for mediocre. Don't allow yourself to lose yourself and lose your life to caregiving. We caregive because of our heart and because we care. That doesn't mean that we have to lose our life or lose the life we wish we had because of it. So Jamie at tocim.com. Mahalo, Jamie, for helping caregivers to survive mentally. And it is so important for caregivers to always be in the know. You guys, we are in the dark. We need light to light up our journey. So remember the Shine a Light Walk. Oh, where's my thing? There it is. No, it's right there. There it is, up on screen. There we go. It's so important. It's coming up in 10 days, you guys. 10 days. I can't wait. I'm so excited and counting. So the countdown begins. If you have not signed up or registered, please do go to gab808.org, click on the button to sign up. And if not, don't worry, you can do it there. Just show up. The bottom line is we want to get out there, get you moving. It's only $2,000. You don't even have to do the whole course. We don't care. We're going to have some fun, trusted partners there. And each tent's going to have prizes and games and giveaways. And of course, we're doing giveaways as well. Get your team together. You could win. Anyone, 3 or more makes a team. Dress up. The best dressed is going to win a pamper session for your entire team. And of course, just doing the walk yourself and sign up online. Go to our website to do so. And if you do so, you could win possibly even a pamper cruise or a pamper session, private pamper session for you and one other. So up to 2 people, right? And our pamper sessions include aromatherapy, meditation, a massage moment. It's just really a way to just totally self-care, but it's the education part that's really important. So don't wait. Do it now. Go to gab808.org. Well, wait till Roger, our next guest. Wait till our next guest. And then after the show, go and do it. But be one of the first 100 to register. And we're getting close to that. Receive a backpack and a glow stick. So we want you to do that. That's going to be fun because we are going to, right after sunset, shine that light and turn that light on. But I don't know if you've noticed, the sunsets are just beautiful right now. In 10 days, we're going to see the best sunset of your life right out at Magic Island at Ala Moana Beach Park, Saturday, the 20th. Be there. And again, here's that flyer for teams. So take a screenshot. You can just form a team, dress up, do something crazy. And don't worry if you can't be there. If you can't be there, that's okay. You can do it virtually or in place. So you can still help us to raise funds for caregivers. And we need all the help we can get you guys to get through to next year. So your help is greatly appreciated. How do you fundraise for us? There you go. Screenshot. Go to gab808.org, click the link, form a team, your company or group, and then get the pledges for us. And that'll help us out immensely. All right. Okay, so let's have fun. I can't wait to see everybody in 10 days. I'm super excited about it, and I can't wait for that sunset. So we all deserve that in itself as wellness practiced. So do you have a BOA? And I don't mean a BOA, like a feather boa. I mean a BOA. This is a board of advisors. And we talk about it in our sessions all the time. What's a board of advisors? Well, it's a group of people that are going to help guide you through your caregiving journey, especially when you require a professional. And so today, here's a member of your BOA that you absolutely need. My next guest will help you, and he's a CLTC financial professional. And what does that mean? Well, that's a certification for long-term care. Ooh, our ears just went up, right? And this is a designation for professionals whose primary focus is long-term care, and you need to know about that. You need to put my next guest as part of your BOA. So please help me welcome Roger. Roger Higa, welcome. Hi, Roger. How you
Hi,
doing?
Savvy. I'm doing very well. Thanks for
Welcome to
having
the
me.
Caring Caregiver Show. I'm so excited to have you and to talk about this. But first, tell us your caregiving story.
Yeah, well, thanks. I'm very honored to share my caregiving journey. For me, I am currently helping my wife care for my mother-in-law, who's in early stage dementia.
Oh,
And, over time, her needs have gradually increased. And
yes.
I also care for my older brother, who was born with a neurological disorder that impacts his mobility and coordination. Unlike my mother-in-law, my caregiving duties for my brother came completely unexpected, and it was a very challenging time. I had wondered when it happened, man, is the man upstairs like trying to tell me that I don't
Yeah.
have enough adversity in my life?
Yeah. Did we not
And
learn something? What did I miss here? How did I go from calm to chaos all of a sudden?
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think having to go through the experience, I have learned so much. It's really about what Jamie talked about earlier. Having that right mindset,
Yeah.
being able to incorporate self care. In our culture, sometimes self care is thought of as being selfish, but it's really
Right.
not. You look at it as putting on that emergency oxygen mask when you're on the airplane. You always put it on first before you put it on others. And, knowing what your limits are.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. The mind uh, controls everything that we do, feel, say. And, if we treat uh, caregiving as a curse, it will be a
Yeah.
curse. If we
Yeah.
treat it as a blessing, it'll definitely be a blessing.
Yes.
So I feel blessed. I feel blessed. I'm a lot more knowledgeable. I'm able to help more people around me, provide advice, and also I've been more of an asset, I think, to my clients having to go through that experience. So I'm definitely grateful for
Yeah,
the
I love
experience.
that. And I love that share because it's true. And that's why I always talk about how our partners and anyone I bring on the show, excuse me, has the heart of a caregiver. And having the heart of a caregiver changes the way you treat yourself, changes the way you treat others, and
Mhm.
that empathy that you have. So I'm so happy to have you here. And so tell us, you know, finance is such a tough thing because caregivers, we do not think about this, right? We just know there isn't any money, or we just know that we have to find money for this, and we're so point and shoot because we're in chaos. But what can caregivers do? And I don't just mean for planning for the one that they're caring for. That's important too. But
Mhm.
caregivers now should be learning, right? We're in this chaos and we should be learning how important it is for us to plan. And
Exactly.
so, what would you say to caregivers now what they should be doing for planning for their future?
Yeah. If they haven't done this by now, I really allocate some time to really educate themselves and think about, if I ever get into the situation that my care recipient is now in. I mean, who do I want to care for me? Where do I want the care to be provided, and who's going to pay for that care? And having a plan in
Absolutely.
place. People don't like to plan for things they feel uncomfortable about. When it
Right.
comes to planning a trip or a birthday party or graduation, that's a lot easier for
It
people.
sure is.
Admittedly, we're in avoidance. We feel like, it's not going to happen to me, but I think a lot of the caregivers who are going through what they're going through today, it's partly because they didn't expect this to happen, and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happened at
Or
the
the
time
person
that
they're
it
caring for
happened.
didn't make that plan,
Yeah,
right?
and so trying to break that cycle, it really starts now.
Yeah.
They've got to
Love that
take
you said that.
control over what they want their future to look like. They
Yeah.
know how hard it is being a caregiver. So let's put a plan in place so that they don't create that hardship for the people that will end up caring for them in the future.
Right. Right. Because if you start planning now, you're in such a better position than trying to scramble later. Right. Because when you're scrambling later, it's tough. And not that there aren't plans out there. I know there are, but
Mhm,
you're in a better position now than you
mhm,
will be later on.
mhm,
Especially coming out of caregiving and going, okay, I better do
mhm,
something about my future now. Or,
mhm.
you end up in the hospital and then you think, oh, I don't have a plan. I better find something. Why wait till that point? Right.
Exactly.
Because and part of long-term care isn't just a plan for long-term care, isn't just your care, where you're going to go and where you're going to stay, but it's also who's caring for you, like you mentioned, and being able to take care of people who are caring for you, right?
Mhm,
And that expense, because
mhm,
that's where, boy, it blew out of proportion with my mom.
mhm.
Just trying to pay people to care for her.
Exactly.
Oh, that expense is insane. And there are plans for that, right?
Exactly. Yeah, money is the number one cause of stress in America. And, I think that's what gives me a lot of passion to do what I do. I understand. And there are plans out there that can alleviate a lot of that financial stress that people are going through. A lot of people don't understand how some of today's long-term care plans work. They're not like your grandfather's Chevrolet. It's definitely different. But
Right?
it's about asking
Showing your age there.
questions,
You're showing your
right?
age there, Roger. It has to be your grandfather's Tesla, right?
Oh gosh. But yeah,
Yeah.
but it's about setting aside time, asking questions, finding out what do you want, right? And I'm here to help people navigate uh, in determining what's going to work best for you with what you can afford,
Right.
right? And a lot of times I've had many conversations with folks who have a plan or don't have a plan, and it's surprising, Savvy. They don't even know how their plan works. It blows my mind. And
Yeah.
I'm like, why do you keep paying for it if you don't even know how?
And it's really funny, but that was my parents. That
Mhm,
was my parents. They didn't
mhm,
even know. And they weren't even aware of
mhm,
what they had or didn't have. And
mhm,
having to decipher that later
mhm,
after the fact was
mhm,
when I started learning about it myself, right?
mhm,
People just
mhm,
don't teach you this. They don't take time or make time. And I appreciate that you're one of those who does.
mhm,
You'll
mhm,
educate people and help them to
mhm.
fully understand that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So it's about, yeah, providing the education, the information, allowing them to understand, how does this work? Uh, how is it going to be valuable for me? How much is it going to cost? What are the benefits? All the bells and whistles. Is it something that I'm going to find valuable when or if that long-term care event takes
and
place?
and tailoring it to the needs that each person has individually, right? you know
Exactly.
I think that the generation before us, the plan was invest in your house, right? And then it'll pay off in the end, and then sell
Mm,
it or use it to leverage care. And no one
exactly.
thought about an insurance policy for long-term care. And I think that more and more we need to look at these and
Mhm.
understand them fully and get one that's tailor made for us.
Exactly. It's like when you go to the store because you need shoes, and it's like, well, they don't sell only one size or one style, right? Everybody's different. So,
Oh, you
yeah.
probably remember this, but remember going to Sears at Ala Moana and they brought out that metal foot
Oh yeah.
measure thing. You remember that? And they would put your foot in it and they put your heel back, and then they make that slider thing go and to fit you and your feet. But for some reason, when you got the shoe on, it was still too tight, right? And then they always tell you, well, you have to work it out, right? Well, thank goodness it's not like that's not the procedure for finding the right policy for you for your
Oh
long-term
no,
care.
not at
But
all.
Roger, I love that part of, I didn't put this up. Let me put this right now. Sorry. There you go. But there's Roger's contact information. And Roger is www.rogerhiga.fun. And I love
Exactly.
that because that shows the part of your personality that is not just a caregiver with empathy, but somebody who can bring the fun and who can help people to get through something that's usually a difficult process, which
Mhm.
is getting that insurance that you need for your long-term care.
Exactly. I want to make the process fun for them. I mean, who doesn't want to have fun, right, Savvy? Like, uh,
Not me. I'm boring. I love
oh,
it.
man.
Well, let's leave one last thought for our viewers and listeners that you can share with them today, Roger.
Yeah. Well, I encourage our listeners and our viewers to really take that step. I know long term care is like the elephant in the room. You don't want to think or talk about it, but if you don't think or talk about it, that elephant in the room is going to turn into a 500-pound gorilla that's going to blindside you.
Yep.
And so, you know, the best time to plan was yesterday. The next best time is really now, today. And, if anybody has questions or uh, maybe need a second opinion about maybe plans that they already have in place, I'd be happy to review that for them at no cost. I'm open to providing a free consultation to anyone that,
Oh, I
uh,
love that.
yeah.
And I
So,
love that, just because you have a policy doesn't mean that it was necessarily tailor made for you. So
exactly.
Roger can help really guide you through that. Thank you, Roger.
Definitely. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
And Roger was at our expo that we just had at the Blaisdell. And so it was wonderful to meet you in person and be able to have a few fun laughs. And I know you got to talk to a lot of caregivers there and really be able to emphasize that as well. So thank you for
Yeah,
that.
you're very
Um,
welcome.
yeah, look forward
Yeah,
to maybe seeing you in the future as well at some of our events. And so, again, you guys can contact Roger at www.rogerhiga.fun. Easy, or just call 808 330 4691. All right, 808 330 4691. You guys give Roger a call today. Don't put it off. You were supposed to do it yesterday. All right.
thanks, Savvy. I
Thank
gotta
you
tell
so much.
you, you have such an infectious laugh. You need to champion it. I tell you.
It is. I actually have it copyrighted and patented, so don't even
All
try.
right.
Don't even try to record it. No, I'm kidding. You know what it is? My father, who is the kindest person I ever knew, always taught me to laugh from your heart and to really always feel that pure joy when you laugh, because that's a true gift that we have. And
Sure
so I
is.
think I've just always done that. I didn't care if I was loud or quiet or not. If I was going to laugh, it was from the heart. So thank you for
That's
noticing, and thank you
beautiful.
for all that you do from the heart. And so you guys contact Roger today, even if you have a plan, just make sure you got the right one. Why
Exactly.
not have something that's tailor fit to your needs? Because everybody's different. Thank you,
Mhm.
Roger.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Have a great day.
You too. Wonderful. See, I told you. I told you, caregivers, this season is all about you. It's all about you now, yesterday, now, and in the future. So you really need to make sure that you have all those tools. I mean, we just put a couple of great resources out there for you. I hope these not only guide you through your caregiving, but help you to survive and completely transform and then be planned for the future. So again, you don't want to be in the dark and you want to shine that light. And so don't forget about our charity walk coming up. And it's going to be in 10 days. So sign up. Go to gab808.org and, register. Again, if you can't be there in person, don't worry. You can do it in place. You can do it virtually, or you can just help us raise funds. Give Me a Break has been here now for 4 years. we're on our finishing up our 4th year. I don't know how we did it. We did it without any grants. We did it without any big amounts of money coming our way. We nickel and dimed it with your heart, your kindnesses, your donations, and small sponsorships here and there. But we've managed, in the 4 years, we've managed to help over 2,000 caregivers to get pampered, to practice wellness. And we'd like to do more. So the more we can create an awareness for you, the more we can create a community for caregivers, that's what we want to do. And our Shine a Light is really about that. Caregivers are in the dark, they're isolated, and they're depressed. And every light that we shine on the 20th at Magic Island, every light is going to show a caregiver that someone cares. And that's why we call it Shine a Light for Caregivers. Show that you care. Sign up now. Get out there, or just come join us. And if you can volunteer, please let me know. We need a few more volunteers, a good handful. And I'll be happy to get you in there, and you can help us out, and keep people moving and give caregivers that light. All right. And of course, the person that raises the most in pledges will receive a special wellness prize package that includes a private pamper session for 2, a 1-year subscription to Givers Guides magazine, and a wellness gift basket valued at over $100. So that entire package is like a $500 package. So definitely you want to be there, sign up, get your name, and you have to be signed up online in order to be in the drawing. You don't have to be present to win, but you have to be signed up online. Okay, so even if you can't make it, hey, sign up online. And if you can't make the walk, at least you're entered for the prize. I really want to thank our guests today and remind you that this show is brought to you by Give Me a Break and sponsored by Givers Guide online magazine. So go and get your subscription. And of course, the Caring Caregiver Show really is about connecting you with resources and community and wellness as our goal. The next week, we're going to have Kathy Tan and Jenna Pasquale of Amalu Coaching. It's going to be a really great show because, yes, we're going to talk about Shine a Light, but there's a few surprises. So don't miss next week's show. It's going to be pretty exciting. Let's just say that it's funny that Roger brought up laughing because we're going to do a little bit of that next week as well. So set your reminder on your phone. Tune in every Wednesday at noon on the Caring Caregiver Show. And it's okay if you miss us live, because a week after this show goes live, you can watch us on podcast or listen to us on podcast, and Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Google, any platform, we're there. Just go to the caringcaregivershow.com. Right there on the screen, caringcaregivershow.com, and you can listen to those podcasts. Just click a button right there. And of course, go to our YouTube channel. And our YouTube channel, you'll be able to watch this live presentation. And please subscribe. Start following us and subscribe so that you get a ding every time we go live. And you'll be able to watch us as well as watch the video after. This season will be ending in a couple more shows. So in about another month, this whole season will be visible on Olelo TV 53. Whatever you do, caregivers, join our community. Stay connected. Don't lose that vital connection you need to a community of caregivers just like you. We've got a lot of amazing events and presentations that you don't want to miss. So just keep checking our Facebook page. And of course, go to our website, jb808.org. In the meantime, remember, breathe. And here's hoping that you're finding more joy in caregiving every week here on the Caring Caregiver Show. Thanks for tuning in. And please always be kind to yourself, and especially those who are caring. Aloha, everyone.